Why, hello there, everybody. How are you doing today? It's me again and again. I'm here to bring you yet another update on my situation. And yes, well, today's update is the same as all previous updates. My phone has not rung. And still today, I say, with all confidence, with all assurances, that my phone has not rung yet, because it's going to ring. Now, just to keep it simple, what a lot of you all are waking up and realizing is that you all have believed what's called a false consensus. What is a false consensus? The false consensus effect or false consensus bias is an attributional type of cognitive bias, ooh, big words, whereby people tend to overestimate the extent, pay close attention, to which their opinions, their beliefs, their preferences, their values, and their habits are normal and typical of those of others. Or, just to keep it simple, that everybody else thinks just like you. This cognitive bias tends to lead to the perception of a consensus that does not exist, making it a false consensus, also known as a lie. Now, here are some examples of a false consensus. False consensus number one. There is somebody in charge. That's a lie. The law in the United States of America is in charge. False consensus number two. You must obey a law enforcement officer and do whatever they tell you to do. That, my friend, is a lie. A law enforcement officer's job is, well, to enforce the law, not make somebody else do something that they do not want to do or have to do. Or should I say, not make a law-abiding citizen do something that they do not want to do or have to do. If a person who professes to be a law enforcement officer comes up and tells you that you must do something and you are a law-abiding citizen, you are not violating the law, well then, you're not dealing with a law enforcement officer, you're dealing with a fake and a fraud and a counterfeit, you're dealing with a criminal, you're dealing with, plain and simple, a bully. Okay? False consensus number three. Anybody with a title, they can do whatever they want to do, and they are correct in they can do no wrong. They can do no wrong. False consensus number four. If you're just nice, if you're just good, if you're nice, you're a Christian. All of those are lies. All of those are lies. Now, how does this pertain to my situation? Simple. My complete criminal history is a lie. And here, let me explain to you. Here are the facts. Okay? And this is why I've been saying I have been reporting criminal actions. I've been reporting crimes since May 2nd, 2013. Okay? All right? I've been reporting crimes, and I'm about to show you the crimes. Okay? Remember one of the false consensuses is police officer, you have to do what the police officers tell you to do. That's a lie. And then one of the other false consensuses is that, you have a title, there's somebody in charge, and they have a title, that means that they can make you do something that you do not want to do. Okay, well, no. The first false consensus is there's somebody in charge. No, that's a lie. As soon as you believe that, as soon as you take that lie and believe that lie, then all of the other lies you will quickly swallow. Because here's the fact. The fact is, here in the United States of America, the law is in charge. The law is the standard that must be met, because it is the law that is the standard that the criminal can never meet, because the law is the standard that defines exactly what a criminal act is, exactly when a criminal act has taken place, and exactly who the criminal is that has perpetrated or committed said criminal act. Period. Now, I've shown you this before. This is my criminal history report from the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. What you all don't know is this is a legal document. Okay? In other words, all of the information that is listed on it, there must be a legal, lawful reason for it to be on there. And this doesn't exist. This arrest listing does not exist. And neither does this big one, lewd or lascivious act, sexual battery. Because it's listed here, that makes it a crime. Because again, this is a legal document. Okay? This makes it a third-degree felony. Each one of these listings, every single line listed here, is a felony. Because they cannot produce an arrest report for any of them. Okay? So, this is a criminal act. Okay? Now, I've shown you this before as well. This is an arrest and booking report. It says it right there. Arrest and booking report, Office of the Sheriff. That is the name of this document. Okay? It as well is part of the legal system, just like the criminal history report is part of the legal system, making it a legal document. Which means that if it is improperly filled out, it is another third-degree felony. Stay with me. Stay with me. Meaning there must be a legal, lawful reason for these people to have filled this out. Okay? Period. Now, because there is no such thing as an attempted lewd and lascivious upon a minor, and there is no reason to say that I supposedly solicited a minor to prostitute themselves, that makes this a crime. How do I know this? Well, because, how do you know this, should I say? Well, again, right here. Look right here at my finger. There is no victim. Victim. Who's the complainant? The Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. And all of these witnesses to this supposed attempted lewd and lascivious act upon a minor and solicitation of and soliciting of a minor to prostitute themselves are all Jacksonville Sheriff's officers. So, where is the minor? There is no, without a victim, you can't have a crime. So, by their own document, you're looking right at it, you are seeing with your very own eyes that there is no legal, lawful reason for this document to even be filled out. Furthermore, there is no such thing as an attempted lewd and lascivious upon a minor, and there is, and without a minor to prostitute themselves, without a minor, without a child, because that's what this statute requires. Statute 800.04 requires that there be an actual child under the age of 16. If there is no child at all, exactly how can anyone attempt a lewd or lascivious act upon someone that does not exist? And exactly how can anyone solicit someone to prostitute themselves that, again, does not exist? Again, that third-degree felony, third-degree basic, just to keep it simple, this arrest and booking report does not document me committing a crime. It documents all of the crimes of the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. You have to be an imbecile. You're a Jacksonville Sheriff's Officer, and you just don't know that that you don't even know what the statutes are. Go back to school, son. You do not know. But because you believe the false consensus that police officers, you have to do what the police officers say. And if the police officer says that this happened, well, then that means it happened. Well, exactly how can it happen? Exactly how can it happen? Exactly how can you even attempt a lewd or lascivious act upon a minor, which, again, cannot be attempted? Exactly how can you attempt a lewd or lascivious act upon a minor without a minor? And exactly how can you solicit a minor to prostitute themselves without an actual minor? You can't. Now, again, this is a legal document. As soon as they fill this out, they all committed. Every line that you see on here, there is no legal lawful reason for it to be listed. Meaning, every line on here is a third-degree felony. It's called criminal action under color of law or through simulated legal process. This, my friends, is the crime. But the crime continues. I'm not giving you my opinion. I'm giving you fact. There is, when everybody says, well, why did they write this? Well, because they kidnapped me. They kidnapped me. Plain and simple. This is proof of a kidnapping without a legal, lawful reason to detain someone. It's a kidnapping. It's a false detainment. It's a false imprisonment. And as soon as they took me away from a spot without any legal, lawful authority, just because they got a badge doesn't mean they can do whatever in the world they want to do. This is the crime. They can say whatever they want to say, but they have to prove that what they're saying is there's a legal, lawful reason for them to be doing what they've done. So says the law. Okay? Now, the problem is, again, as I said it in prior videos, they prosecuted it. And here we go. This is called finding probable cause to detain. And again, it's coming from another authority. It's coming from a judge. A judge said that this was legal and lawful when there isn't a minor. There isn't anyone listed on here as a victim. The only thing that this document reports is that all of these JSO officers or deputies are saying that I did something to somebody that doesn't exist. That's all it's saying. Right now, a lot of you all are going tilt. Okay? But this judge is saying that, well, they're right. It's legal and lawful for them to do it. When there is no statute, again, it's impossible to attempt a lewd or lascivious act. A lewd or lascivious act is not a lewd or lascivious act until the lewd or lascivious act is actually committed. So says the law. So says the statute. Okay? And there is no child. There is no minor. There is no one under the age of 16. There isn't anyone under the age of 18 listed. The only ones that are listed here are Jacksonville Sheriff's officers. Meaning, well, one, all of those Jacksonville Sheriff's officers deputies just stopped being deputies. That's it. They kidnapped me and they documented it. Now this judge, who they redacted the name, he or she, whoever this brainiac is, they stopped being a judge as well. Now you're trying to see why. Now you kind of understanding why they're trying to cover this up. Okay, and here, right there, you can see right there, biggest day, filed December 4th, 1997, is when this document was filed. Okay, in computer filed. In other words, they inserted this. This is proof that they were prosecuting a kidnapping as if it was an arrest. Because again, without a victim, you can't have a crime. The police, those aren't police officers, because they're lying to you. Okay? Now, here is another reason. Here's why Taggart is having a cow. Because, well, again, this is, right there, can you see? State of Florida, motion to set bond. And what are they setting the bond for? For attempted, this is their document, folks, not mine, attempted, lewd, and lascivious on a minor. There is no minor, and there is no such thing as an attempted, lewd, and lascivious act. There's no way to attempt it. Again, it's like giving someone a speeding ticket for attempted speeding. Or by saying, I attempted to have already walked across the floor. You can't do it. But because of who's saying it, you believe it's real. And again, right there, filed December 4th, 1997. They inserted the number into the beast. And this number right here is the same number as the arrest and booking report. That's how to keep track of everything. Okay? And there's little Taggart's signature or name. This is the judge that set the bond. So Taggart set a bond, a $25,003 bond, right there. Right there. $25,000 when December 4th, 4th day of December 1997, he set a bond just like this judge found probable cause to detain for a crime, you're reading it, attempted lewd and lascivious on a minor, that had no victim and simply does not exist. Taggart, you just stopped being a judge, December 4th, 1997. And the state attorney that filed this stopped being a state attorney, stopped being a lawyer, December 4th, 1997. Because you obviously do not know what the law says. And you all believe it all, plain and simply, because, well, cognitive, because of believing a false consensus. Period. Now, again, right here, documented. I had to bond out. I paid $2,500 to bond out, and here is this bond has never been discharged. What does that mean, Kay? That means it's still an active bond. Why has it never been discharged? Well, because I've never been to, and right there it says, I was supposed to be in circuit court. Circuit court. I'm supposed to be in circuit court. When was I supposed to be in circuit court? I was supposed to appear in circuit court. Hold on, give me a second. It's on here. 12/18 on 12/18/1997. But again, why has it never been in court? Well, because again, this bond is for attempted lewd and lascivious upon a minor. You're reading it right there. Attempted lewd and lascivious upon a minor and soliciting of prostitution of a minor. And, well, again, there is no such thing as attempted lewd and lascivious upon a minor, because you cannot attempt to do something that must be committed. Again, it's like giving someone a speeding ticket for attempted speeding. And in order to solicit a minor to prostitute themselves, you really kind of need a minor. There is no minor anywhere. Meaning, another third-degree felony. There is no legal lawful reason for this to even be in here. Period. Now, because I just showed you all the crimes, I just showed you 2 judges stopped being a judge on December 4th, 1997. Because, again, they prosecuted a kidnapping when it's their job. They prosecuted a kidnapping as if it was an arrest. Simply because, well, evidently, they don't know their own statutes. And if they don't know the statutes, then they have no business being a judge. Because if you do not know the law, how in the world can you properly administer the law? How in the world can you properly uphold the law? How in the world can you properly administer justice when you all say that I did something to someone that does not exist? And again, the only reason why you believe it is because, well, who's saying it? Well, now the truth is coming out. So, in order to cover up the fact, again, you've got 2 judges that stop being a judge. Well, we can't have that. We've got an entire vice squad, 5 JSO officers. It's real simple, folks. Every single officer that signed this, and there's a bunch of them, stopped being JSO officers on 12/3/1997. Because they evidently don't know the law. And if they don't know the law, if they do not know the statutes, then they cannot properly enforce the law. Because again, they can't read? There is no victim. There is no child. And even better, how in the world do you solicit someone to prostitute? How do you solicit anyone to prostitute themselves with no money? I don't know. I don't have to explain why they did this. They have to explain why they did this. Because they can't explain why they did this, because of how many people are now involved, and they can't make this go away because, again, here's why. Right here. They inserted it into the belly of the beast. So what are they going to do? Go to the clerk of the court and tell the clerk of the court, we need all those documents back? No, they generated a case file number. Oh, over and done with, folks. They documented themselves committing the crimes themselves. Because, again, there is no such thing as an attempted lewd lascivious act upon a minor. And in order to solicit a minor to prostitute themselves, you kind of have to have a minor. There is no minor. Thereby, the crime is them saying that they could hold me for something that did not happen. The crime is they set a bond, what they're calling a bond. That's not a bond. That's a ransom! I had to pay $2,500, otherwise I have to prove that I didn't do something that not only did not happen, could not happen. Because again, there is no such thing as an attempted lewd lascivious upon a minor. So, there's probably like 15 people. Probably about 15 people. 2 of them are judges, a whole bunch of state attorneys. Okay? The entire vice squad, a sergeant, and the 5 officers involved in the kidnapping. Every officer that signed this, that put their stamp of approval on it, they're all committing crimes. They are all falsely detaining / imprisoning me. They are all kidnapping me, and they are all holding me for ransom. Not says me, so says the law. So, well, we can't have all that now. We had a bad day. We can't have all that. So what do? Well, we have a cow because, well, K bonds out, and now this is out of their control. And again, this is another legal document. This is from the bonding agency, which is an officer of the court. And again, this bond is still active. Why is it still active? Well, it's because if it ever comes to light, they're all going to prison. Oh, now, see, the light bulb's coming on now. Now you see it. So what do? Well, we got to make up. We've got to cover our butts. So what we're going to do is we're going to lie to Kay. We're going to tell him that it's all over and done with. And then, folks, if you want to hear the whole story, it's over on the Tube U channel. I got all the videos up there. Go watch it. Don't watch it. I don't care. This is over and done with. And, well, what do? We say that, well, what he really did was he was really soliciting an officer to prostitute themselves. And, again, you can't bring it out. It doesn't exist. They cannot produce any document that says that anyone committed the supposed crime of soliciting someone to prostitute themselves. Okay? Doesn't exist. So, and then, well, they pulled the Honorable Mallory Cooper in on it. And again, if the whole system is against me, then there would be no record of any of this. Period. But no, see, the criminals inserted the numbers into the beast. They filed it. They prosecuted. They documented themselves prosecuting a kidnapping as if it was an arrest. Meaning they didn't set a bond, they set a ransom. Okay? And then, of course, you got the Honorable Mallory Cooper saying that I was in court and I pled nolo contendere, which means no contest to this. That's what this piece of paper says. And there's the Honorable Mallory Cooper's signature. Okay? And they did that, and as soon as Terrence Martin knowingly, willingly, and deliberately, intentionally filed this, Terrence Martin stopped being a state attorney as well. Because all he's doing is, it's again, criminal action under the color of law or through simulated legal process. This is a simulated legal process. There is no legal lawful reason for this to have been filed because the only reason why they did file it was to, well, basically save their jobs. And this Terrence Martin is the very same Terrence Martin who stopped being a state attorney, according to this, on 1/6/1998 is when he filed it. And this is when it's in the court. Okay? This is the very same Terrence Martin who made the plea deal with Donald Smith, releasing Donald Smith from jail on May 31st, 2013, who that same Donald Smith, 21 days later, kidnapped, raped, and murdered Cherish Periwinkle. One little problem, Terrence. You didn't have the legal lawful authority or the legal lawful jurisdiction to make a plea deal with anyone because you stopped being a state attorney on 1/6/1998. When you knowingly, willingly, deliberately, and intentionally filed this, saying that you swear, you've seen the proof, and I'm there, and I'm confessing to everything, and I'm not there. And now, because of all of your crime, and you did it all just to save your jobs, and because you did it to save your jobs, well, you threw me underneath the bus. You have stolen 20 years of my life. Since the age of 30, I've had all of this walking around on my record. I have been denied friendships, romantic relationships. I have been deemed as a sexual deviant, which has been preventing me from serving my God. And yeah, I'm a little hot about it. But what I refuse to stand and let slide is the fact that it is your fault, every single one of you all, and you know it. It is your fault, Taggart. It is your fault, Terrence Martin. It's all of y'all's fault. Every single officer that signed this, the state attorney that filed the state attorney that filed this, the judge that found probable cause to detain, the blood of cherished periwinkle is on your hands because of your actions here. Because this wasn't dealt with back in 1997, you allowed Donald Smith to be unleashed. And you caused the kidnapping, raping, and murdering of 8-year-old cherished periwinkle. And you are going to be held accountable for it. And you are going to tell Rain Periwinkle the truth. You are going to tell Mr. Periwinkle the truth. And you are going to tell the 3 Thornton women that it's not their fault that cherished periwinkle was kidnapped, raped, and murdered. Because they believe it is. Because you told them it was. Because you told them that they did something that they couldn't do when you didn't have, that they needed to do when they didn't have to do it. Terrence Martin, you are a fake, you are a fraud, you are a counterfeit. Now, it's over and done with, folks. Over and done with. I don't care. A lot of you all are going tilt right now, but I just laid it out for you. This is over and done with. Are you going to keep believing the false consensus? Are you still going to believe that there's somebody in charge? Or are you going to finally wake up and admit that there is only one person in charge? It is Almighty God that's in charge. Almighty God is in charge. It is Almighty God that's in charge. And His name is Jesus. Now that you know the truth, what exactly are you going to do? Me? I'm going to keep trusting the law. I'm going to keep trusting my God who has shown me these crimes. And I'm going to keep reporting these crimes. And sooner or later, it's only a matter of time, you criminals, that a real law enforcement officer comes in and upholds and enforces the law. Because you all are nothing but a bunch of fakes and frauds and counterfeits. And you will be removed. And that, my friend, is the truth. Just saying.